When you step into the fullness of your humanity, your sensitivity, your feelings, that is you stepping into the flower that you're meant to be in this lifetime, the role you're here to fulfill on this planet. Hello and welcome back to Remember Why You're Here, a podcast for seekers and sensitives where you can relax, receive, reconnect to yourself, and remember the most important thing of all, why you're here. We are currently in probably the most beautiful set of weeks here in my garden. Here where I live, we have our garden across the street that's south facing, and that's where we grow our vegetables and things like that. We have our berry bushes, but the garden around the house is in this north facing cove. And so because of that, this specific stretch of the year, this time when it warms up enough that the soil awakens, but the trees have yet to flush out with all their leaves, this is when all the spring ephemerals bloom. And my garden right now is just full of trilliums and azaleas and phloxes and anemones, and some golden seal just came up, and I'm just in a little bit of heaven. And it's also been such good grounding for me as the world around me feels just overwhelming and chaotic at times. The larger world stage, it's such a good reminder for me as I lay on my belly in the garden and just watch the butterflies move between the pink flowers, and I see the sun sparkle on the creek, that this too is also real. I think this is something that comes up a lot for us sensitives, especially when the outer world is very overwhelming. It starts feeling like what's real is sort of like the intensity, the challenge, the crush of, the devastation in the world, the intensity, all of that. And while that is real, this is also real too. These butterflies moving between the flowers and the way the light glints off the creek and how the pink of the azaleas look like angels against the sky. And it just reminds me of how important it is that we recognize these different layers and levels of reality, and how each layer and level is important, and that it's especially important for us sensitives to connect into levels and layers of reality where we feel nourished, where we feel met, where we remember life's beauty, because that is how we continue to show up in this world for the other stories, the other realities that are playing out. So if you needed that reminder today, just let yourself touch into those other realities, because it really is so helpful. And so I felt inspired to revisit a transmission that I posted a few years ago called How the Earth Sees You. It was interesting. I put this online and I just thought about it the other day, and I went to go look at it again, and it strangely went a little bit viral, and I never noticed before. And I think it's because we need this kind of mirror. We need this kind of reflection, especially as we move through these times where we really start to doubt humanity, doubt what it is we're bringing, doubt our ability to heal. We start feeling like, what are we doing here on this planet? And does this earth even accept us or embrace us? And so, spoiler alert, yes, we are accepted. We are embraced. We have a role here on this planet. And so this transmission that came through a few years ago called How the Earth Sees You is a perspective that came through for me in communicating with the earth. And I have seen it to be just really helpful and uplifting for those moments where you're feeling a little lost in the sauce in the larger world as a whole, when it feels like reality itself is overwhelming. This How the Earth Sees You transmission will help you come back into that moment, into a kind of moment where you're laying on your belly in the garden and you're gazing at a flower and you're finding that you too belong. So without further ado, here is that transmission, How the Earth Sees You. We naturally love and cherish flowers. We don't ever doubt that they are beautiful or worthy or deserving of our love. Well, the earth wants you to see yourself as a flower. The earth wants you to understand that you are just as cherished, as beautiful, and as loved. What is a flower? A flower is the penultimate expression of a plant fulfilling its life purpose here on earth, of a plant fulfilling its purpose here as a part of the earth's dream. A flower from a flowering plant is this moment where the plant has fulfilled its life purpose to such an extent that it can give back to the world, that it can unfurl in petals, in color, in pollen, and light, and give these gifts to the world to create more abundance, to create fruit and seeds and the next generation. The earth wants you to see yourself as a flower, to understand that you are every bit as cherished as the calla lily or as the rose, and that you are here to fulfill your blueprint to unfold. We all have been asked to come here to be a part of the earth's dream. I often refer to the earth as an archangel. The sentience of the earth is much wider and wiser and older than our own. The earth is on their own trajectory. This planet has a dream, and humans are here to play a role in that dream. The scope of this dream is very wide and very deep, and we've only been here for a short time. But there's a reason why humans are here. There's a reason why we were created in the way that we were created. We're not a mistake. We were made specifically to be here for these times, and you are not a mistake. You were made for these times. I think we can often get lost in self-judgment and self-criticism. We think we're not enough, or we think we're too much. And these same feelings of self-judgment get projected upon the earth. We think the earth is judging us, that the earth does not care for us, does not want us here, that the earth resents our presence here, because humans have had a role to play in ecological degradation and harm. And yet, when you listen, the earth is actually saying something completely different. The earth is saying, I care for you. I see you, and I want you to see yourself. I want you to understand that you are a flower here on this planet. You were meant to flower. You were meant to be an expression of the own earth's consciousness, of the earth's dream coming into flower, coming into being. So in what ways are you being asked to unfurl right now? Is there perhaps a new avenue in your life that you've been curious about, that you feel drawn towards? This avenue might be the very thing that the earth is asking you to investigate so that you can come into your own unfurling. Is there something you're passionate about? Is there a person you want to work with, or a profession you're ready to step into? Don't negate these calls. These calls are often coming directly from the ground beneath our feet, and they are asking you to step into your gifts, to explore with a courageous heart. Because the only way that we can give our gifts to this world is to be brave enough to bloom. It takes bravery to bloom. When a flower is blooming, it is its most vulnerable time in existence. That is a vulnerable moment in a plant's life cycle, and so it feels vulnerable to put yourself out there. And yet, this is another reason why the earth loves and cherishes you. The earth loves your vulnerability. The earth cherishes humans for being the vulnerable, sensitive creatures that we are. I really believe that human beings are one of the most sensitive species on the planet. So sensitive, in fact, that we've developed all these programs to try and stop feeling, to numb ourselves out. So when you step into the fullness of your humanity, your sensitivity, your feelings, the depths of your emotions, your passions, what brings you forward, and the parts of you that aren't sure, the parts of you that are still figuring it out, that is you stepping into the flower that you're meant to be in this lifetime. That is you stepping into the role you're here to fulfill on this planet. So I feel very passionately that the earth wants us to see and understand these things. And if this is lighting you up, if you are feeling drawn and moved to connect more deeply with the earth, to receive these messages and understand them, definitely get a copy of my book, Mirrors in the Earth. This book was created to help you make a direct connection with this planet, to understand the gifts that you're here to bring, and to see that your journey of coming to know yourself, understand yourself, accept and love yourself, that this journey of self-compassion is a force of ecological healing for this planet, and it is how you become a part of the Earth's wider dream. So you can get Mirrors in the Earth wherever books are sold, and if you've read the book already, I would love to hear from you. What spoke to you the most in the book? Was it a specific chapter? Was it an idea? Was it one of the plants or stones or ecologies I talk about in the book? What spoke to you? Because the very thing that spoke to you is the very thing that's actually reflecting back to you, a mirror showing you who you are, what your gifts are, and how deeply needed you are on this planet. I always need to hear that again. I really do need the reminder because I think something happens when we get in those moments where we feel like just tangled up in the overwhelm of wondering why is it all like this within humanity, where we start to doubt our goodness, where we start to wonder about our place here. And so I return to that transmission often, that concept, that idea when I need to remember. And so I hope this message and this reminder carries you through the end of this month of April as we get ready to drop into May. I kind of can't believe that May is happening so soon. My intuitive reading for May is going to drop next week. So we can tune into the energies of what is coming up after this big month of April, what is coming up for us in May. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's left a comment here on this podcast or left a rating or review. It really means so much to me. I have a particular time each day where I tend to go look for new ratings, new reviews, new comments. And the other night, because I end up doing it at night a lot, and the other night I was standing there looking at my phone when this new rating came in, this new review came in, and I just thought, if only people knew how much this means to me in this moment. Like, if only people could see me standing in my little bedroom reading their review. But I just want to say thank you so much. If you have, it just means the world. And so this was the review I read. This came in from Leah a few weeks ago, and the title is Like a Favorite Cup of Tea, which couldn't be more perfect. And Leah wrote, I'm consistently and continuously inspired and opened by Asia's teachings and philosophies. This podcast is on my weekly listening schedule. I also replay episodes when I need them. I highly recommend tuning in to remember why you are here, a true experience of contemplation, nourishment, and perspective expansion. That is such a gift to this world. Thank you, Asia. Thank you, Leah. Thank you so much for that review. It just brought so much light to my day. It is such a delight to connect with you here. I feel it's such a special thing, this community. I feel so honored to be a part of it. So I will be back next week with the reading for May. We're going to tune into what's ahead there. But in the interim, I hope that you have moments of being able to see yourself inside this world, moments where the earth reflects back to you your beauty, your belonging, and moments where you can remember that most important thing of all, why you're here.